Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of yourself that have exactly what you want. I hope that's what you're doing. If you're not, I can't wait to hear the lame ass excuse why you're not doing it. Huh? Why don't you put that in the comments for me? Why I'm not choosing to be a version of myself. Because it will be a lame excuse. Anyway, let's jump in. Today is a day there won't be any editing, so all the pauses, all the things that I probably should not bring to your attention before I start recording. I'm aware of that, but I also don't want you to watch the video and then assume that I didn't know I left something in. It's all getting left in today. Let me just start out by saying if you would like to work with me in any way, shape, or form, all of that information is in the drop box below, including all the information about my 3 channel memberships. I highly encourage you to join the VIP, the Advanced Manifestors group. I'm not going to go into it like I normally would, but I really think you should check out that group because that's a group that has access to all the other groups and all the other groups' recordings. And that's where we do the deep diving. So the more you understand about manifestation, the less you're shitting yourself over 3D reality. I highly encourage you to it. And to all of you that have joined recently, thank you very much for joining. You're in for an exciting time. I'm just going to say it's going to be a nice ride because the advanced manifestors also give you access to the other two channel memberships. So really you're paying for 3, but not the big price. You get to come to the exclusive lives, which, yes, all the channel memberships are fucking amazing, but that exclusive lives is always a zhuzh. And it is usually always over an hour of hanging around, hanging out in my living room. And I love it. It is like hanging out with my besties because that's what you guys are. But anyway, the VIP, the advanced manifestors, highly suggest you join. Now, let's get into the video. So, I think this video is going to serve as a reminder to all of you out there who are forgetting that your specific person doesn't have free will. And yet most of you, let me rephrase. A lot of you are thinking and behaving and acting as if they do. I think we need a reminder. What did Neville Goddard say about this? What did he say? Not realizing that all that he encounters is part of himself. He rebels at the thought that he has chosen the conditions of his life, that they are related by affinity to his own mental activity. Man must firmly come to believe that reality lies within him and not without. Although others have bodies, a life of their own, their reality is rooted in you and ends in you as yours ends in God. Do we need to hear it again? Although others have bodies, a life of their own, the others being your specific person and all the people you are entangled with, just saying, a life of their own, their reality is rooted in you, ends in you, as yours ends in God. Your I amness, whatever you believe in. If you don't believe in God, insert the word you do. Do you understand what that means? And if you are new to manifestation outside of the how you doing, I'm Kimberly, and I'm obsessed with getting what I want and knowing everything there is to know about manifestation. And if you can handle my sass, I would love for you to subscribe. My God, please subscribe. Be my new friend. Let me know you subscribe so I know who my new friends are. But if you're new and you don't understand that, and maybe you just stumbled upon manifestation, here is your sass-filled but loving-filled reminder. Your person doesn't have free will. No one else does. In one sense, you don't either. Your free will ends after you've made your decision of who you are. How things unfold, not necessarily for us to worry about. I know how easy it is to get very caught up with the 3D and get very attached. And we can forget, in a sense, fall asleep to the knowing, to the understanding of number one, of who you truly are, which is pure, unadulterated consciousness, AKA God, AKA I am, universe, higher power, source energy, moonbeams. Outside of that fact, okay, you are pure, unadulterated consciousness. Your specific person is showing up, reflecting you. You. So if your specific person is not showing up the way you prefer, how are you handling it? What are you labeling it? Are you reacting to it? And if so, why? Why are we? Again, this is never about being perfect, but let's be honest with ourselves. Why? Especially if you've been on this journey for any sort of time over 2 weeks. Why are we viewing reality from a limited perspective still? Now, let me just very much make clear I am not perfect. And yeah, I still react here and there. Sure, I do. I'm human. You're human. But when we are getting upset to the point where it's on our mind all the friggin' time that SP is not changing, or SP said this to me, SP said that to me, SP made it very clear he doesn't want the relationship. I don't care how clear they made it. Yes, in the physical 3D, we should respect their boundaries for 3D world purposes. But not up here, we don't. Not up here. Not up here. We decide who we want to be up here, and therefore we then decide who we want them to be. To the 3D muggle-filled world, that does sound crazy, and I know that. And if you're newer to this, I'm sure this feels like Looney Tunes Lane, okay? I understand. But you're awake to manifestation now. Therefore, you are awake to the knowing that you are pure, unadulterated consciousness that is manifesting your reality every single moment. Every single moment. Your specific person doesn't have authority in your reality. I feel like the visual, and this is what I think of, the visual of every single human being in a bubble. And in that bubble, how they are perceiving and seeing their reality is really glued to them. So, in other words, how you view your specific person is exclusive to you, because your reality is exclusive to you. So we'll use the example of, well, I'm manifesting a specific person and I have to see him every day, Kim. I have to see him every day. And it's really upsetting and triggering that, he acts like we're nothing, like we're not even friends. He doesn't want to even talk to me. Maybe you're coworkers. And he acts like nothing, like I don't exist. I know from a 3D world logical mindset, I understand that is not fun. It doesn't feel good. I'm aware. But it's not fun and it doesn't feel good because you are forgetting who the hell you are. You're forgetting. And you're viewing reality as out of your control. Like you have no input on how things are. And you are viewing your specific person as if they have options, as if they have choice. You're giving them the options. You're giving them the choice. If you're viewing them as, well, this is just who they are. They said they don't want the relationship. Nothing I can do about it. No, there's a whole lot of you can do something about it. It's you get up here and you start telling a different story. You start telling yourself that you are who you say you are. Your identity is determining everything out here. So if you've got to interact and see your specific person every single day, you need to keep that armor here. You need to remember, wait a minute, they don't have free will. Now, that doesn't give us a license to be mean to the physical version of them, but it means it doesn't fucking matter what they say. It doesn't matter. Because we're bringing in the version of that person that is going to be absolutely head over heels in love with you. But they can't show up being that version until you allow them to change. How do we allow them? We stop telling the story of they are being everything we don't like, everything we don't want. You start affirming who your new identity is. How we get them to change starts with how you describe yourself, how you think of yourself. You think you're unlovable, if you think you're not pretty enough, not handsome enough, not rich enough, not enough sparkling personality, you stop describing yourself that way and you start describing yourself as being exactly what you want, who you want to be. You start claiming that and you start living like that version of yourself. You stop talking about your specific person to everyone and their mother. If you want to manifest your specific person, here are some tips on how to get what you want. Number one, you start with deciding who you want to be. And you start claiming to be that person. You start living your life as that person. You want to be in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with that specific person, then that is who you are. Well, Kim, how am I going to be in a relationship when a specific person wanting to talk to me? You can get into your imagination and you can think about what you think your day-to-day life would be if you were in that relationship. You absolutely can do that. And you can get into your imagination and think about how it feels to be, if you're a woman in love, in a relationship with someone that is absolutely head over heels in love with you, obsessed with you, cherishes you, treasures you. I got those from Renge. She gave me those. Cherish. That's who you are. So that's how you carry yourself from day to day. You are this new self, being it. Number two, you stop describing your specific person in a way that does not benefit you. Meaning, okay, if we've got some muggle friends out there, we stop bitching to our friends about how a specific person has been showing up. We have to be the ones disciplined enough to stop telling the story. And if we work with our person and maybe the past hasn't always been lovely, we have to be the ones to break away from that story. We have to be the ones to stop talking about it, to stop rehashing it. And when thoughts of the past come in and they're not favorable, we have to be the ones disciplined enough to say, nope, not my reality. That is not who I am anymore. That's my old self. That is one reality out of the infinite, and it's not the reality I'm in. Thank you very much. I only have successful relationships. I always get the person I want. I've always been treated like a king or a queen. I've always been this. I've always been this confident. That's who I am. I've always believed I'm lucky in love. I've always believed I am more than enough for anyone. In fact, I'm the prize to them. They're lucky to have moi. That's who I am. I am the self that actually loves herself or himself. That's who I am. I have nothing but favorable beliefs about myself and about love and about specific person. You think that person, if your specific person has been someone who adamantly doesn't want a relationship, not anymore. You have the version of them that is full of desire to be committed to you. That's who they are. I want you to actually think of it as you are breaking up with that limited half-ass version of them. You're breaking up with it. You're kicking that shit to the curb. And you're only bringing in the loving, fulfilling, kind, respectful version. Suddenly, they are becoming a lovely version of themselves. That's who they are. If your friends are bringing it up, you have to be the disciplined one to decide, I'm not going to talk about what doesn't benefit me anymore. I don't want to talk about him. I've kicked that person to the curb for now. I don't want to be bothered with that person. I don't want to talk about this. Can we talk about something else? Let's talk about your love life instead. Okay? Whatever it takes for you to stop telling the old story and keeping yourself anchored to that reality. Manifestation is simple. It is very simple. We humans make it difficult. We make it difficult because we hang on to our former versions of self, our former realities, like it's life or death. We hang on from fear. This is where we're breaking the habit of being that self. Over here, we're changing lives. We're changing lives over there. This is about you getting the things you deserve, the things you're worthy of. So we stop telling the old story. And the only thing we give our mind is what we want. We break out of the habit of focusing on all the things we don't want. That is one of the most important habits that really need to go. It's so easy. Listen, and don't feel bad. I cannot tell you how many people I encounter who just can't help themselves but to talk about what they don't want to happen, what they're afraid is going to happen. If you're afraid of being ever broken up with again, then put the focus on, well, no, I am someone who is always committed to. That's who I am. That's my story. Only success in love. Relationships only end because I've decided I don't want to be in the relationship anymore. I am not someone that is serial broken up with. Commitment, commitment. Everyone you've ever had a relationship with have always wanted the full on commitment. They didn't want to ever leave you. You left them. You get to rewrite your whole life story if you want to. You don't necessarily have to, but if you want to, you can. You start focusing on who you want to be. You start thinking of yourself favorably. And you stop telling old stories. You stop marinating in the past. And if they don't show up acting different immediately, you stop assuming that means this doesn't work. You start assuming that it's always working. I know this is really sassy today, but some of us need it delivered this way. I'm one of those people. I need it delivered that way sometimes too. Stop fucking around with things that don't make you happy. It's really that easy. Stop it. Another tip that's really important. Stop assuming you're blocked. Stop telling anyone and yourself that you must have something in the way that this hasn't manifested yet. Stop telling that story. That counts as an old story. If you're talking about shit that sounds limited, negative, or in any way, shape, or form doesn't benefit you, here is your moment of hearing it out. You are hereby commanded, demanded to stop doing that. Stop it. If it doesn't serve you, stop. If it doesn't benefit you, say goodbye to it. This is all about you. All about you. But listen, I can be your cheerleader all day long, and I love being your cheerleader. I want to be. But you have to apply it when you're not watching the videos too, friend. You have to. Because it's really easy to slip right back into your old self and old shitty behaviors. And I don't care if you think you're doing something just one more time, just one last time. One last time, I'm just going to check their social media and see whose picture they liked. No! No! The last time was the last time you did it. That's it. No more. Nothing like saying, I don't want to change. I don't want this to work. I want to stay anchored to a reality I don't want to be in. I want that to happen instead. That's what you're saying. It's a weakness. You're being weak. That's probably a little harsh, but it is. That comes from not having the discipline. Manifestation does require discipline. How many discipline videos have I made? I'm not making them because there's nothing else to talk about. It's because it is. You have to be the one determined enough to be disciplined to shut the door, number one, to the old version of yourself that was limited, and shut the door on what your senses are telling you if it's unfavorable. But I'm telling you right now, okay, you can clip this and replay it. If you think that your specific person is showing up not choosing you, not wanting you, because they had the free will to make that choice, you are so damn wrong. Wrong. Outer limits, missing the point, missing the mark, as Neville Goddard would say, missing the mark. You are choosing to limit yourself, period. They don't have free will. They show up reflecting. That's my boyfriend. I'm so sorry. Do you understand? I'm hoping I see a million yeses under this video. I truly mean it when I say it is possible to manifest absolutely anything you want and anyone, no matter how illogical it sounds. And if you are sick and tired of fucking around, and you are sick and tired of fucking around with hot and cold behavior, this is how to stop it. But you got to be willing to be determined, willing to discipline yourself. And for, if you're in a moment and you're feeling bad right now, you're feeling bad because number one, you are focused on being separate from reality, as in separate from your specific person. And you're listening to fear and probably logic. You clearly want what you're manifesting. So give it to yourself. How do I give it to myself, Kim? How do I just give myself a relationship? You start talking about yourself as if that is who you are. And when thoughts come in that are not what you want, old, doubtful, negative thoughts, you stop fighting them. You stop warring with them. You let them float by. If that's too stressful to let them float by, well, then you remind yourself that that belongs to a reality you're not choosing. Nothing to be afraid of. Your world is changing. You are determined to never be your old self. And you are determined to be your new self. You claim for yourself that you are in the reality you want to be in. This is never because manifestation doesn't work. Manifestation is flawless and it does work. So, on that note, let the decision be that you are your new self. This is how you get a specific person to show up like you want. And it starts with you remembering they don't have free will. They've never had free will. And they never will have free will.